Welcome to English Rise. Before we start, pause for a second and ask yourself, why do you really want to learn English? Is it for a job, to travel, to earn more, to understand the world, to prove something to yourself? Write your reason in the comments before you continue. Not for the algorithm, for you. So your brain understands that this is not just another video. This is part of your transformation. Now, let's begin. Most people say, I want to learn English, but they don't really understand what that means. They think it means memorizing words, studying grammar, passing a test, repeating phrases. So they treat English like a school subject, something outside of them, something they do 2 or 3 times a week. Then they wonder, why do I understand a little but can't speak? Why do I study for years and still feel blocked? Why does English disappear when I need it the most? Because the problem is not your mouth. The problem is your mind. You don't need just English. You need an English mind. What is an English mind? It's when English stops being a foreign object and becomes part of your inner world. It's when you don't translate every word from your native language. Start thinking directly in English, at least in some situations. Feel ideas coming to you in English. Can stay inside the language without constantly running back to your comfort zone. It's not about speaking perfectly. It's about living mentally in 2 languages. Right now, your mind is configured like this. Native language. Home, English, task. Home feels safe, automatic, natural. Task feels heavy, forced, artificial. As long as English is a task, your brain will always try to escape it. To truly grow, you must turn English into another kind of home inside your mind. Not to replace your language, but to expand your reality. The truth is brutal. You can watch 1,000 videos in English, download apps, collect PDFs and tips, and still never build an English mind. Because an English mind is not built by consuming English. It is built by facing your fear of speaking, staying in discomfort, thinking in English on purpose, making mistakes without running away, creating, not just watching. You don't accidentally become fluent. You build fluency, brick by brick, session by session, thought by thought. To build your English mind, you must change 3 things. 1. The way you see English. 2. The way you train English. 3. The way you think during the process. We'll go through each one. Slowly, deeply, honestly. This is not for people who want magic. This is for people who are tired of lying to themselves, tired of staying at the same level and ready to change the way their mind relates to this language. Part 2. Change how you see English right now. You probably see English as a requirement, a barrier, a stressful expectation, something that judges you. You feel, if I make mistakes, people will see I'm not good enough. If I speak badly, I'll feel stupid. If I don't understand, I'll feel like a failure. So your brain creates a simple rule. To stay safe, avoid situations where you must use English for real. You say you want to practice, but you avoid voice messages. You avoid speaking in public. You avoid conversation classes. You avoid opportunities to use English at work. You protect your ego and sacrifice your evolution. An English mind requires another perspective. You need to stop seeing English as a judge and start seeing it as a gym. In a gym, you go there to be weak, so you can become strong. You go there to struggle, so you can adapt. You go there to feel uncomfortable, so your body can grow. You don't walk into a gym, lift a heavy weight, fail to move it and say, "I'm so stupid I'll never come back." No, you think, "Of course it's heavy. That's the point. If I keep trying, it will get easier." You must treat English the same way. Every time you forget a word, get stuck in a sentence, don't understand someone, pronounce something weird that is not proof that you are incapable. It is proof that you are training. An English mind does not ask, "Am I good or bad?" It asks, "Am I training or hiding?" Your native language is like a comfortable couch. English is like a training ground. If you spend all day on the couch, you get weaker. If you spend time in the training ground, you get stronger. So the first mental shift is this: English is not something that judges me. It is something that trains me. And if I feel tired, embarrassed, slow, or clumsy, good. It means I am doing real work. Part 3. Passive English will not build an English mind. You've probably heard advice like, just watch movies with subtitles. Just listen to podcasts in English. Just change your phone to English. All of that helps, but only up to a point. If your practice is only passive, only watching, only listening, only being exposed, your brain stays in observer mode. You recognize words, you understand ideas, you feel like, "I know this." But when it's your turn to speak, your mind freezes. Why? Because recognition is not the same as production. It's like watching people training at the gym every day and expecting your own muscles to grow. Your brain thinks, "We know this language." But your mouth thinks, "We've never done this before." To build an English mind, you must move from, "I understand when I see or hear it," to, "I can produce it from inside my own thoughts." That only happens with active practice. Active practice means you don't just hear English, you respond in English. You don't just read English, you speak and write about what you read. You don't just consume, you create. This is uncomfortable. Your ego will resist. You will sound worse than you feel inside. But that gap between what you understand and what you can express, that is exactly where your English mind is built. Part 4. Train like you're building a new operating system. Your native language is your current operating system. Fluent, automatic, fast. English, right now, is like a program you installed on top of it. Sometimes it runs, sometimes it crashes, sometimes it gets stuck. To build an English mind, you must start training English not as an app, but as a second operating system. This means you need structured training blocks, not just random contact. Here are 3 powerful types of training to rewire your brain. 1. Shadowing, borrowing an English brain. 2. Output sessions, forcing your brain to create. 3. Immersion windows, living in English temporarily. Let's break them down. 1. Shadowing, borrowing an English brain. Shadowing means you listen to a native or advanced speaker. You speak with them almost at the same time. You imitate rhythm, intonation, and structure, not just repeating one word at a time, flowing with the sentence. When you shadow, your mouth gets used to English sounds. Your brain connects sound, plus meaning plus C movement. You stop translating and start reacting. It feels strange. It feels intense. Your brain works hard. Good. Shadowing is like plugging an English mind into your own for a few minutes. Do this with short parts of this video, other audios you like, conversations or monologues, small pieces, high focus. 2. Output sessions. Forcing your brain to create. If you never force your brain to produce English, it will never prioritize it. An output session is simple. Choose a topic. Speak or write about it in English. Even if you don't feel ready, you can. Record voice messages to yourself. Talk to the camera. Write a short journal entry. Explain your day in English. Retell a story you heard. The goal is not perfection. The goal is activation. You are telling your brain, we don't just recognize English, we use it. At first, you will mix languages. You will stop mid-sentence. You will feel your brain burning. Excellent. That burning is your English mind forming new pathways. 3. Immersion windows. Living in English temporarily. You don't need to live in another country to live in English. You can create immersion windows, 30-60 minutes where you only consume content in English. Only think about your thoughts in English. Try to name what you see, feel, and do in English. No translation, no escape. If you don't know a word, you go around it. You describe it another way. Your brain stops waiting for your native language to help. It realizes, for this period, English is all we have. That pressure forces adaptation. Now combine all 3. Shadowing, output, immersion, several times a week, with intensity. You are no longer studying English. You are reprogramming your brain. Part 5. The voice that shuts your mouth. Your mouth is not the real problem. Your grammar is not the real problem. Your accent is not the real problem. The real problem is the voice in your head right before you speak. It says, don't say that. It's wrong. Your pronunciation is terrible. You're too slow. They will judge you. You sound stupid. So you, stay quiet. Answer in your native language. Keep the sentence in your head instead of saying it out loud. Then you say, I don't have confidence in English. Of course you don't. How can you feel confident when the person who lives inside your mind attacks you every time you try? To build an English mind, you must change how you talk to yourself while you are using English. Right now, your internal rule is, I am only allowed to speak if I sound good. So you don't speak. You wait for a future version of you who will magically be fluent, confident, and perfect. And then, finally, you'll start talking. That version of you will never arrive. Because fluency is not the cause of speaking. Speaking is the cause of fluency. You must invert the rule. I'm allowed to speak because I am learning. Think of a child learning to speak. They say, me want water. Doggy run. Yesterday, I go park. Wrong grammar, wrong words, wrong forms. But what do? We smile, we encourage, we understand, we correct gently. We know that mistakes are part of the process. Now look at how you treat yourself. You say one wrong word and you mentally shout, idiot. I'll never learn. I sound ridiculous. You are not just learning English. You are surviving your own self-criticism. An English mind cannot grow under constant attack. You must become a different voice. From now on, create one rule. No self-insults in English. You can correct yourself. You can notice mistakes. You can want to improve. But you are not allowed to say, I'm horrible. I'm stupid. I'm a disaster in English. Every time you catch yourself, stop and rephrase. Instead of, I'm terrible at this, say, I'm training this. Instead of, I never speak right, say, I'm not fluent yet, but I'm speaking more than before. You are not lying. You are changing the frame. Your brain listens to the way you talk about yourself. If you constantly say you are hopeless, your mind will stop trying. Part 6. Build an identity that can live in English. You won't build an English mind if you keep seeing yourself as someone who is bad at languages, someone who always gets stuck, someone who can't speak, because your actions always try to stay consistent with your identity. If deep inside you believe, I'm not a person who speaks English, then every time you open your mouth, your mind will try to protect that identity. It will make you forget words, avoid situations, sabotage opportunities so that your external reality matches your internal belief. To change the way you speak, you must first change the way you see yourself. This does not mean lying to yourself. It doesn't mean waking up tomorrow and saying, I'm fluent when you're not. It means upgrading your identity step by step. From, I'm terrible at English, to, I'm someone who is seriously building my English now. From, I'm not a person who speaks English, to, I'm a learner who uses English every day, even if I still make mistakes. The difference seems small. It's not. When your identity becomes, I am a person who trains English, you start to look for opportunities to practice, accept discomfort as normal, feel wrong when you don't train, instead of when you do. Your brain shifts from, English is something I sometimes do, to, English is part of who I am becoming. That is an English mind. A powerful exercise. Every day, finish this sentence in English. I am the kind of person who. Examples. I am the kind of person who trains English even when I'm tired. I am the kind of person who speaks even if my English is not perfect. I am the kind of person who uses English as a tool to expand my life. Write it. Say it out loud. You're not casting a magic spell, you're giving your brain a new script. Then your job is simple. Act like that person for one more day. Part 7. A practical plan to build your English mind. Let's turn all of this into something you can do. Here is a simple weekly structure to start building an English mind. Every day. 1. Mini English immersion, 10-20 minutes. Only English. No translation. Watch, listen, or read something that is slightly challenging. Try to think about it in English. 2. Active output, 5 to 15 minutes. Speak or write. Talk about your day. Respond to something you watched. Retell a story. Record a voice note to yourself. 3. Shadowing, 5 to 10 minutes, a few days a week. Choose a short audio. Listen and speak along. Focus on rhythm and flow, not perfection. Every week. 4. One longer focus session, 30-60 minutes. Deep practice. No phone. Combination of listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Brain fully present. 5. Reflection in English, 5 to 10 minutes. What did you improve? Where did you struggle? What will you change next week? This is not about studying a lot one day and then disappearing. It is about showing your brain, English is part of my life now. Not as an obligation, as a mental expansion. During all of this, remember 3 rules. Rule 1. Mistakes are proof of training, not proof of stupidity. Rule 2. English is a gym, not a judge. Rule 3. You speak to build fluency, not because you already have it. Keep these close. Your mind will try to forget them when fear appears. Part 8. Build your English mind, expand your life. This is bigger than learning a language. When you build an English mind, you are not only adding vocabulary, you are adding access to ideas you never had before, opportunities in work and life, new kinds of people and connections, a different way of thinking. You start to realize there was a whole world I could not see because I didn't understand the language it was speaking. English is not superior to your language, but it opens doors in a world that often speaks it. You are not betraying your culture by learning English. You are equipping yourself to move more freely through reality. From now on, don't say, "I'm just learning English." Say, "I'm building my English mind." Because that's what you're doing when you choose practice over avoidance, choose courage over shame, choose consistency over excuses. You are training your brain to comfortably exist in another language. That is powerful. That is rare. That is not easy. But you are capable. You just have to stop waiting for fluency to appear and start building it day by day, thought by thought, sentence by sentence. You've reached the end of Build Your English Mind here on English Rise. If this helped you see English not as a school subject but as a mental upgrade, don't let it be just interesting. Use this video during your practice sessions. Shadow parts of it. Pause and speak your own thoughts. Write your reasons for learning English. Turn this into training, not just inspiration. And if you want more content that respects your intelligence, challenges your psychology, and helps you grow your English and your inner world at the same time, subscribe to English Rise. Don't just study English. Build an English mind. And let it expand the rest of your life.